It's springtime, and a really popular spring activity is spring cleaning. The nicer weather, the sunshine, I think motivates a lot of people to clean their home. But this spring cleaning also includes our wardrobes. Closet cleanouts or wardrobe declutters are popular this time of year and will anytime this season's kind of change over. And so today we're going to be watching closet cleanout or closet declutter TikToks. Not all the TikToks we're watching right now are from spring, but some of them are, and even the ones that are older from last year, maybe from January, they are still searchable, they are still findable, and people are still consuming them when their desire to declutter right now might be really strong. We're going to be chatting in today's video about the closet decluttering process, how people are decluttering their clothes, how people talk about it and showcase their declutter, but we're also going to be looking at some advice, some that I like and some that I don't like as much. And this is a really perfect video, I think, for right now if you're in the decluttering mood or even in the shopping mood, because sometimes we declutter our closet so we can shop more. And while I do believe when we do engage in them, we can absolutely do it thoughtfully, but I also think that declutters can be not so thoughtful. We're going to talk about both sides today, and we are also going to be talking about how the declutters and the content that we can consume can influence us as viewers. Our very first video was going to touch on that subject itself. So let's get into it.
I'm in desperate need of a closet clean out. So we're going to clean out my closet together. And I'm actually going to let go of things. I low-key feel like I might need more bags. I'm going to start with the bottom row and then we're going to work the top row. I don't wear these. First thing in the bag. So proud of myself. Like, I don't wear these. So it's okay to let go of that. Now we're moving on to all my spandex, and this is when I feel like I'm gonna actually clear some things out because I'm so picky. Like, it tucks all the way back here. I don't like when they have the butt detailing. I won't wear these. These didn't look flattering on me. These didn't look flattering on me. These didn't look flattering on me. Like, I don't need all of my Amazon sets anymore because I don't wear them. I feel like if I have the defined pair, I'm never gonna, someone else will like this more than me. That's what I try and tell myself when I'm cleaning out my closet, is that, like, if I haven't worn these in months, there's some girl out there that would love these. It makes me feel better of getting rid of stuff, I guess, because I feel like wasteful, but I'm not being wasteful. I feel like I don't need you anymore. No, no, no. I wear you. I wear you. I wear you. I don't wear you. I don't wear you. Some girl will love these. Some girl will love these. Some girl will love you. Some girl will be so happy to get you. See, it just makes me feel better. I don't wear you. Some girls can be so excited to get you and you. Guys, I feel like I have a pretty good chunk of stuff so far. I'm doing a good job. She's so lucky that I'm letting go. You did me well, but now it's time for some other girl to love you.
All right. Okay, I just respaced everything out, and I know it looks like I didn't really do much, but these are all the clothes that I'm letting my friends pick from. I mean, this is like a mound of clothes, okay? And then over there too. I mean, look at all the hangers, and that's not even all of them. My friends are coming in a few weeks. Like, I actually have like a few different groups of friends coming like different weekends, so I'm just gonna let them pick what they want out of the pile, and I'm gonna donate the rest. I need to organize and fold all this and put it in garbage bags, so I'll show you how many garbage bags I have after. Mind you, this is only my gym closet. I'm doing my girl closet after I walk Theo. Okay, this is what we have working after cleaning out my girl closet and my gym closet. I texted my friends and they're so hyped to come shop. And I ended up with 5 garbage bags and 1 home goods bag. This feels so good, and to know that like things I once loved are going to now be loved by someone else. It just makes me like, I don't know, I feel like wasteful, but it's not wasteful.
The video we just watched is coming from a fitness influencer, and that was her gym closet. She has another closet that she calls her girl closet, which I think my understanding would be that it's all of her non-athletic items. So the caption of this video says, "This is your sign. This felt so good." And she is suggesting to other people that she felt so good. She had such a positive experience. It was kind of like a weight off your shoulders in a way, that she is expressing to other people and suggesting that you could also feel this way if you decluttered your clothes. There is such a thing as being overwhelmed by how much stuff you have. It's entirely why people who want to be minimalist decide to do like the big declutter. That is not inherently a problem. And I absolutely love that she's getting her friends to go through her clothes, because I think that's probably the best case scenario of people like excitedly being able to like try on and play and touch all of these clothes, which I think is really great. She deserves kudos for that. So I think there are positives to letting things go, especially if you are doing it in a responsible way. And also there is the stress or the anxiety. I'm not suggesting by any means that somebody sits in their stress and their anxiety. That's not what I'm saying. I do think, however, the way that many people declutter and the way that decluttering is generally promoted online, not always. We're going to see great examples later. It's just people letting go of stuff because they're bored or because it's not new or exciting anymore, or they have too much stuff. And she has said repeatedly that she's not being wasteful. Decluttering in itself isn't inherently wasteful. Where I think it becomes wasteful is when you are decluttering clothes to buy more clothes. You are decluttering so you can maintain a habit or a way of shopping. She is slightly different because the majority of her items came in through PR, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But I feel very strongly that this is a case of decluttering. So she's making room for more things, and these closets are going to refill again. I mean, they're already very full, but they are going to continue to refill, and they're going to get stuffed again. And then she's going to declutter because she gets that overwhelmed feeling, or there are too many clothes like that could physically fit in her closet. That is what becomes wasteful. Now, the overconsumption PR element is of interest, and I want to read a couple of comments for you. So somebody says, I love overconsumption talk. Somebody responds saying that this is mostly gifted. She's a Gymshark athlete. There's a bit of back and forth, and then somebody else writes, how is this overconsumption? She's literally sent it for her job. I highly doubt it's like she woke up each morning and said, I need another XYZ. I think it's really important to note that a lot of her clothes are coming from PR. However, as a viewer watching, you may not know this. Like 2.5 million people saw this video, and she has about 700,000 followers. So even if every single one of her followers watched this video, and then there's over an additional million people watching this content who may not know, who may never know that she's a Gymshark athlete and got a ton of this in PR. She does also shop, and she posted some shopping videos after this, or some hauls. Some of it does appear to be more new stuff from Gymshark, which is entirely my point, that we're getting rid of stuff so we can bring in stuff. And this is overconsumption, and overconsumption does not require one to buy the item for it to be overconsumption. Overconsumption really speaks to the acquiring of goods and the ownership of goods. These are usually tied to finances, but they are not always. And if you are acquiring the goods through PR and you're not paying for them, it's still overconsumption. If you are acquiring goods more than you could ever need or use, like there are more clothes in the closet than she could actually wear in a year. And how things come into her closet in some ways matters, but in other ways doesn't, because the influence on us can still be the same. It is still the normalization of large quantities of stuff, of large closets, multiple closets. People feel like she gets a pass because she didn't buy it and it came in PR. I want to push back on that a little bit because of what I've already mentioned, that it's still overconsumption. We are still showcasing this and affecting people online. Getting PR is also a choice. Being a Gymshark influencer and regularly getting in clothes is a choice. I should amend that to say getting PR is usually a choice. I do understand that sometimes influencers are sent things without their consent. This does happen, but there is still a level of choice. She can opt out of some of this PR. She could opt out of being a Gymshark influencer, or she could amend her contract with Gymshark. People are like acting like she had no choice in this. there is a choice. We're going to move on, and we're now going to look at a couple of TikToks. And what I want you to pay attention to is how the person is discussing or reasoning why they're getting rid of stuff. That's what we're going to talk about next.
This is everything that doesn't fit in my closet right now, so let's do a huge clean out. I think I'm done with the whole bolero thing, so these gotta go. Also, love Molly Mae, but I'm sorry, this jacket is not doing it anymore. These little crop corsets I think are also a no. Also never wear these little stringy tops anymore. Bodysuits and anything super cropped, also never wear. Also never really wear this essential stuff anymore. I think I'm getting rid of this sporty and rich sweatsuit. Hoodie's just not oversized enough and the pants are cuffed. Love a cargo pant, but these massive parachute style pants I never wear anymore. I think that's pretty good for this side. Now we're gonna get into the little bins. Any high-rise lounge pant is also a no for me right now. Plus these Wilford ones literally pill like crazy. I never really wear cuff sweats anymore, so any cuff sweats are also gonna go. Now onto this side of my closet. The Melina pants, honestly should have gotten rid of these sooner. And these little mini slip dress situations, I don't think I've worn since I was like 19. These are literally collecting dust. I think ankle boots are gonna be a no for me. I never wear my Dunks anymore. I kind of want to change all of them to specials, so I think we're gonna get rid of these. I think that's everything. This is everything that I'm getting rid of. Let me know what you think.
So her video is about a minute long. And when she's talking to us about why she's getting rid of stuff, we are hearing a lot of, I don't wear it anymore. We heard a couple longer answers, like she's done with the whole bolero thing as an example. Also, she wants to change her Dunks to a specials because she doesn't wear her Dunks anymore. But largely, it's I don't wear this anymore, declutter. A lot of videos look and sound like this, even if they're longer. They're saying, I don't wear this anymore. No, it's a pass, etc. Part of the problem with this comes as a result of this short form content. And I personally think that a lot can be lost in translation with the short form content. And this is my mention to you that a lot of the nuance that is required to get the most out of things is not going to come from the short form content. So if you like some of the short form stuff, I would just suggest to watch with maybe caution, or watch with that sense of, okay, I like this, but I'm not going to get the information that I might need in order to declutter effectively. It's okay to watch this for entertainment purposes, or if you find it like cathartic, living vicariously through them, totally cool. But I just think it's worth knowing when you watch the short form content that it's surface level. However, even when we get the full videos, like 40, 50-minute videos of people on YouTube where there is that long form content available, we still hear people talk like this. It's a no for me. I don't wear it anymore. I don't like it anymore. Those are so popular reasons that people get rid of stuff, regardless of the niche. And part of it comes from people having so much stuff, they could not sit down and think about each and every individual item that they have and think about like, why am I not wearing this, etc., etc. This kind of thinking supports the buy and declutter cycle. And I believe that because it does not support learning. It's not reflective of somebody who wants to shop differently or learn from their mistakes, learn why is something not working for me. If everything is a no, or I don't wear it anymore, that's not deep enough to learn from it. And so what happens with this kind of rhetoric or this kind of thinking is you declutter this stuff and then you buy things of a similar manner and you can repeat mistakes. Sometimes people declutter their closets because of a volume problem. I have too much stuff. Other times I think it's coming from a boredom standpoint or I'm not wearing what I have enough. You will not suddenly start wearing your clothes more or purchasing differently if you do nothing differently. If you want to actually buy clothes that you will wear for years, you need to learn what works and what doesn't about your clothes. And I don't think that that is why people are decluttering. I think people want to continue shopping as they have been. You can learn so much about your style and your preferences by looking at what you have in terms of things that you like and don't. Sometimes we are getting rid of stuff in such large quantities that we simply don't have the bandwidth, and examining every piece can just be super unrealistic, and I'm not suggesting that, then it's also like, okay, if every time is stressful, if every time you don't have the time to sit with your clothes, you will continue to shop like this. So my recommendation, if you are somebody in that position, would be kind of one of two things. Take a couple of items to case study. Why am I not wearing this? Why don't I like it? Why your way down? Keep asking why or why not until there is nothing left to ask. Or the other potential would be to get all your clothes, take them out of your wardrobe on one day so you can have that relief, because you genuinely may not be in the headspace in that day to start examining your clothes. If you can, keep them somewhere, and then at a later date, go through them a second time, or maybe keep a portion of those clothes to go through a second time. I'm not suggesting that you have to keep them, but to do that closer look. And also as viewers, I think people can be influenced by the content that they're watching. So they watch some of these videos and they themselves want to get rid of clothes. I think that people can see what they have as like a stuff problem. I have too much stuff, when really we may have a shopping problem, and we won't change this behavior unless we learn to shop differently. In my opinion, I don't like it anymore. I don't wear it anymore, or surface level, because they can come from a place of boredom. How a lot of people are used to freshening up their wardrobe is by buying new things. And so the first step to cure boredom is to shop. And we've, in some cases, ingrained those habits instead of, okay, I'm feeling bored or I'm feeling like decluttering. How can I get more excitement out of my clothes or my wardrobe? How could things feel new or fresh or exciting? Maybe how could I style this differently? And if we bring this lens of curiosity and learning to our clothes, we can learn how to shop better in the future. So the bolero example, what can I learn from this? I think potentially what we could learn from this is buying micro trends and being able to identify what's a trend in your wardrobe and as like a thing that we could learn to do. And then also the habit that may be in place here is buying multiple of trends. The lesson could be buy one of the things instead of buying multiples, and only after a duration of time, probably greater than a month, could I buy a second. And also, if we're having trouble spotting micro trends or trend for us in our wardrobe, we could ask ourselves, do I think I would like this or want to wear this in 1 year's time? I have like a personal rule that I do not accept I don't wear it and I don't like it as an answer. For me, you don't have to use this yourself, but for me, it's not good enough. And it's gotten me used to thinking more like, why isn't this working? Or if I'm saying that was trendy or that was a trendier thing for my closet, what about it was the problem? Let's watch another one.
I just graduated college, so it's time for a closet clean out. I'm gonna start with trying on dresses. This isn't really my style anymore, so no. I love this dress. Keep. No. Keep. This does not fit me, so no. This was perfect for sorority functions, but I don't really need it post-grad, so no. This is cute, but it's not really my style, so no. This one's like see-through, so no. I don't know when I'm gonna wear this again, but I just got it as my grad dress, so I feel like I should keep it. I've literally never had something to wear this for. No. Keep. This just fits kind of weird on me, so no. No. I'm so torn on this one because it's so cute, but it's a little bit weird because I have nothing to fill this out. I'm gonna keep it. I love this color. Keep. No. Keep. No. This one's so cute, but I don't really need it for anything anymore, so no. Last but not least, I have this one, which I'm gonna keep.
So two of the main reasons why she said she didn't wear things was because she bought something for a one-time event and something didn't match her personal style. Now, some of the dresses that she has, I think, could totally be worn to specific kinds of events, like a wedding or a birthday party or like a nice dinner. I don't think some of these have to inherently be decluttered because she bought them for a one-time event. And I do think that a lot of people do go to special events every year, maybe every other year. And so if this were me, I would go through what I have and I would ask where I could wear my current dresses to, or if they could work for multiple occasions. And the next time I'm shopping for an event dress, keep that in mind. Have it baked into my criteria that this dress must be wearable to multiple events, or go searching for a dress that you believe you can like for 5 or 10 years, and learning to do some long-term thinking. Now, the other element is this isn't my personal style. And if it were me, I'd want to do some digging into that. Why isn't this my personal style? Like, what about it is not meshing with my current style? Sometimes we associate items with a specific style because we've only dressed it in that way. And so an additional question could be, can I repurpose this or restyle this? I don't think for everything that's going to work, but it's at least a question worth considering. So I wore this top specifically for this video because this was a top that was in my quarantine bin, stuff that I said I wanted to declutter at one point, left it there to just simmer. And one of the reasons why I wanted to declutter this top was because I felt like it didn't match my personal style. And when I dug deeper, I learned that a few years ago, I purchased quite a bit of stuff with this. The frilly shoulders, a lot of ruffles. And part of the problem was that I didn't see how much I had purchased in this style category and kind of the ruffle and feminine embellishments, because all of the tops felt different. This is a knit, and I only have one other knit. It's a green top, and I still love her so much. I felt as though, well, the other tops I have are a blouse, and even the way those look are a little bit different. However, they are similar silhouettes and similar effects. It was giving a similar vibe, or similar silhouette in some cases. And I also felt, oh, I'm a little bit over the ruffle thing. And I went, oh, it's cute, but it still feels a little out of my style. But when I styled it with a pair of straight leg jeans, a combat boot, like, I do sometimes really enjoy some of those like harder or tougher elements with stuff like this. I felt like it worked. And I've only ever really styled this top in one way, and that way really leaned in to that romantic element. And when I wear the top in that way, I feel like I'm leaning in to that style, which that is what makes me feel like this was 2021 or 2020 or whatever. We're now going to watch a video where somebody's talking about their dream wardrobe, their dream closet cleanup.
This is how you're gonna build your dream wardrobe. Step 1 is to clean out your closet, girl. Let's clean out our closets together while I give you tips on how to clean out your closet the right way. Step number 1 is to make a sell and donate pile. It's very important to make that sell pile because you're gonna need that money to buy your new dream wardrobe. Tip number 2 is to take everything out of your closet. This is gonna help you really see what you have to work with, and it forces you to look at every single article of clothing and actually make a decision on whether you want to keep it or not. At this point of the process, here are the things you need to be asking yourself. Have I worn this in the past year? If the answer is no, get rid of it. Does it fit me well? Do I love it? Does it match my current style or my dream style? And is it in good condition? I'm asking myself those questions for each of these items. I also set aside some clothes that were new / gently used for people that lost everything in the LA fires. So please consider doing that too. This also makes me realize how much overconsumption I've done in the past 5 years. But what I mean by building my new wardrobe isn't like I'm gonna buy it all tomorrow. It's a long process and a journey, and it takes years, just like how it took to build this one. Look at all these hangers, y'all. This is everything we're able to get rid of.
This is my donate pile, and this is my sell pile.
Make sure for your accessories you repeat all those tips I gave you. On the next episode, I'm telling you guys where I shop for all my clothes.
Let's talk about our questions first. The first question, have I worn this in the past year? I think that's generally good to consider, but in my opinion, not universally applicable. By that I mean, if your weight fluctuates, if you're somebody whose weight routinely goes up and down, you may want to keep things on both ends of the spectrum. Also, people going through life changes. That can include body changes, but that can also include lifestyle or job changes. And it's okay if it takes you some time to figure out like what the new circumstance is. In addition, sometimes people own so many things that they actually like or would wear get lost in the shuffle. She also says, does it fit me? Great question. However, I would be remiss if I didn't say that learning to sew and alter your clothes is a great way to mitigate some of this. I have to say it, I'm going to leave it there. Is it in good condition? Great question to ask. Lastly, do I love it and does it match my current style or dream style? This question is a little bit tricky for me. I don't love it because the dream wardrobe, this idea of like a dream wardrobe, I think has the potential to lean into the fantasy self. And in my opinion, the dream wardrobe is an illusion. It does not exist. Phrasing it like that can make a wardrobe feel like a destination instead of a constantly evolving thing. And I do think that most people's wardrobes are going to evolve at least once every 5 to 10 years. And the reason why I say that is because life changes and personal circumstance tend to facilitate changes in our wardrobes. By that, I mean, every 5 to 10 years, people tend to go through life change. Having a child, losing or gaining weight, changing jobs, getting a promotion. Job changes really can impact how we dress. It's okay for our bodies or our jobs or our lives and lifestyles to change. Your wardrobe is never a final state. Even if you're somebody who does not shop, period, clothes wear out eventually. And certain things like t-shirts, for me, that have such a high use and wear to them, they wear out eventually and will need to be replaced eventually. And when you replace those items, sometimes you may not want the same silhouette as you did before, which is okay. And I also think that the dream wardrobe can lead people to investing in pieces. But if you don't actually know about your personal style, or you have not become a thoughtful shopper, or learning truly about your preferences and what you wear and having the data and knowledge about it, there is a high chance, or at least a good chance, that what you buy does not last. I wouldn't consider myself somebody that is an expert level at this, but I think I'm far better than I was 2 years ago because I track everything I wear. I can tell you the highest worn items in my closet at this moment. And being thoughtful and considerate about your wardrobe can I think comes with reflecting on what works and what doesn't. So when you see trendy pieces, you can identify them as trends for you or something that doesn't have longevity in your wardrobe. And also spotting things like fit issues. There was this yellow top I recently had, and it's been in my to declutter pile for a long time. And I brought it back out this year because I'm I like this color. It's a light yellow color. And I've every spring I'm into the yellow color, but I don't wear it. And so I put it on and I finally had my aha moment was this thing does not fit. I have such a problem with clothes that are made for somebody with a longer torso. So this is not a good example, but for a lot of sweaters and t-shirts even, I have to go like this in order to put the armpit where it's supposed to be. That was one example where the armpit is literally down here, not because it's a drop shoulder top, but because it's meant for somebody with a different body proportion than me. That's why I hate it. I pulled it out last week. I wore it in a video, my Temu video. It was so visceral, and I don't know why I didn't see it before. Sometimes things just take a little while to click. This next point, I don't think everyone's going to agree with me on, which is fine. But I personally don't think every piece in your wardrobe needs to be perfect. We should like what we own, and sometimes imperfections in our clothes can bother us, and they can bother us to the point that we don't wear it. If something is hella itchy, it don't matter if it's cute, you're not going to wear it. You should not force yourself to wear something that's super itchy. Other times things are wearable, but they're not the perfect version of that thing. And sometimes these videos promote that if it's not perfect, give it away. That idea is okay in some contexts, but potentially harmful in others if it leads you to constantly decluttering your closet. And here's a little piece of information. Extending the life of clothes by just 9 extra months of active use would reduce carbon, water, and waste footprints by around 20 to 30% each. I think having this expectation that everything we have be perfect and perfectly be representative of us and perfectly match our style, I think can lead to a lot of buy and decluttering. So if this were me, what I would ask myself would be, Like, is this wearable? And or could I repurpose this? Could I restyle or rethink this piece? Could I upcycle this item in a different way? I also don't like this decluttering being the first step in changing your wardrobe. The reason for that is because if you feel like your wardrobe is misaligned with your current style, most especially your current lifestyle, decluttering first and decluttering like this, I don't think is going to give you the information that you may need in order to find the wardrobe or the pieces that work for you. I think you need to understand what's working and what's not before you declutter. In some cases, it may be easier to identify this than others, or you may have a general sense of like, I changed jobs and I need outfits that are, let's say, more professional. We may automatically translate that to buying new pieces, but what in your current wardrobe could fit this new position? Maybe you expected to get rid of 100% of your things or assumed you needed all new clothes, but even if 20% work or 10% work, that's still like repurposing and using your clothes, which I think is wonderful. And in addition, if we do need to purchase new things, if we realize or we learn what's not working about our wardrobe, that helps us to figure out what we will need to purchase. And so you could do this with like a styling session and like a little wardrobe playtime and just putting together outfits, no pressure. It doesn't have to work. And you can think about what you like and what you don't like, what's working and what's not working. Take some photos, maybe have a little notebook and jot down some notes and thoughts about what you're observing. That way, when you do go to buy things, you now realize what you may need and what's working and, being able to fill in the gaps appropriately. I do want to say good for her for realizing that she's overconsumed. I think that's great. But if we are still owning a lot of clothes and we're getting rid of stuff to purchase new clothes, I don't know that that's like the end of overconsumption. You know what I'm saying? We may just be continuing to do that. I love that she donated her clothes to the LA wildfires. It's a fabulous place to donate clothes. I mean, at that time, it's not always open. I don't know when you're watching this video, but I think what she points out is that there are other places to donate clothes other than the thrift store. I would also like to say that in some circumstances, living with this particular iteration of clothes can be really welcome because sometimes we get used to a specific baseline. Like let's say 2 years ago, you had 10 pairs of pants, and then over the course of 2 years, you acquire 5 more pairs of pants. You may declutter 3 pairs of pants, and now you have 12. Because that's less, you may feel like you need to shop and fill in the gaps like that. Like we could be using the word need here. Oh, I don't have these pants anymore. And sometimes we may own things that don't actually work in our wardrobe, and so they don't function like they need to. Totally true. And if you get rid of one of those functional pieces, you may genuinely benefit from a replacement. However, I think if possible, we should live with our decluttered iteration first before buying things, because that can help you suss out where the gaps are, or if what you've identified as a gap is actually a gap. Please don't live with stuff, like live with nothing. Like if you've done a declutter of your bras and underwear, like let's say you've changed size and now you have like one bra, I'm not suggesting that you live with one bra. But what I am saying is that we can become accustomed to owning a higher threshold of things. Portions of our wardrobe, we may be able to live with less of those things. Like we don't actually need to rebuild up to the quantity we have before. And living with that iteration lets us know about how this current iteration is working. We're now going to watch a video of somebody kind of going through stuff that they've donated or like marked for donations. So let's watch.
These are all of the hangers I emptied out of my closet. And these are all the clothes I impulsively purged out of my closet 5 months ago. So I'm gonna go through all of these bags to make sure I make the right decision of getting rid of them. Let's start off with the smaller bag. Well, I am absolutely obsessed and in love with this corset, but I don't know, I feel like the style of it just isn't me anymore. Ooh, it's a little tight. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I can't even zip it up. Am I getting thicker? Hold on. Goodbye. Oh, wait. I used to be obsessed with this thing. And I don't know why I'm getting rid of this. This is cute as fuck. Oh, I think I know why I'm getting rid of it. I like my pullovers a little bit more oversized than this. What if I crop it? I just, goodbye. These are just black corduroy pants. I just never wear them. Although they do fit me very nicely. What is the although? They fit good as fuck. Kate, get into this shirt. Hello? This shirt is made for a cool kid. I am not a cool kid. I feel like with the real baggy fit, it'll look super cool, but it's just a little bit too baggy. Goodbye! If you're new to my channel, then you must not know that I always go back and forth about this dress. It's literally so stunning, but it's just a baby amount too small. So I think it's just time to let it go. But it's Daya by Zendaya, bro. She don't even make clothes no more. Ugh. Goodbye! What the hell is this? Oh, this is cute. Wait, hold on. I was about to talk shit on this, but this... Why am I getting rid of this? Kate! Guys, in this shirt, Lil Nas called me gorgeous. I wore this shirt in my first super viral video, but he deleted the comment because y'all were bullying him. But guess what? I still got the screenshot. But although this shirt is super duper motherfucking cute, it's just not my style. Goodbye!
Okay, I love her vibe. This is a really humorous, fun way to go about this process, and I couldn't help but laugh and smile watching her. I am a fan of this video, like the premise and going through your clothes, because I do the same thing. She's decluttered her clothes, done a little quarantine action, if you will, and then retried them on at another point to see how she feels about them. And I totally recommend that you do the same thing and not to declutter your clothes and then give them away at the same day, because my experience, and it seems like hers as well, is that stuff gets clawed back after you've had some time and space away from them. What I personally do is, if I've decluttered something in fall, unless I've had an itch to pull that thing back, I will revisit it next fall, like 1 year later. If I'm still undecided, I'll keep it. I have a little place under my couch where I keep some of these things. Stuff gets clawed back all the time. And I think that this can speak to people decluttering things because they're bored. And then once that thing is away from them and then it comes back to them, it's exciting again or new. And so they can maybe see more of the potential or why they liked it. I'm going to show you 2 examples. This one here, I bought this in 2015, I believe. The last memory I have wearing this is 2016. This one is J. Crew, the striped top. I didn't wear those tops last year, and I think I had them in 2023, but didn't wear them and decluttered them that year, and then decided not to bring them on 2024. But I just simply could not part with these tops. And I'm glad that I kept them because I'm ready to wear them this year. And part of this is probably boredom. Yes, it doesn't totally match my style anymore, but I think part of why I don't wear them is because I've seen, most especially the thicker striped top in my closet for years, that there is that little boredom element to it. And if you are bored of your clothes, if there are some that you can identify boredom with, you can style them, but it's also okay to put them under your bed or put them in your couch, put them someplace to just let them chill, and then you can pull them out next year and see how you feel. We are now going to watch one last video on a closet cleanup.
I'm 27 and I never cleaned out my high school closet until this past year. Here's how I did it sustainably without donating anything to Goodwill, because 80% of clothing donated to thrift stores ends up in landfills. I first donated seasonal clothing and professional wear to a youth emergency shelter. It's important to donate seasonal clothing because it's most in need. Professional clothing can also be helpful at shelters for people interviewing for jobs. Next, I recycled old underwear, socks, bras, and tights through a free underwear recycling program by Sustainable Brand Subset. I gave away my old cotton event t-shirts through my free cycle group, and the woman who took them said she'll use them for waxing antiques. Then I recycled ratty or undesirable clothing through the 4 Days Take Back bag. The bag costs $20, but that money becomes credit on your 4 days account, which you can then spend on their sustainable brand marketplace. Finally, I gave my formal dresses to Very Good Mothers, a local org that gives free prom dresses to high school students. Check out my YouTube video for more tips, try-ons, and a walk down memory lane of my quirky high school outfits.
I love this video because of the intentionality behind her declutter and her taking ownership of her garments through to the end of their life. I really appreciate her sharing resources. Subset is a fantastic take-back program. They partner with, I always want to call them Super Cycle, but I think they're Super Circle. They partner with Super Circle, and they will take back underwear and socks in any condition as well as bras. Any condition, any brand. They'll take items from Canada and the US, and you also get like a 20% off code to shop on their website. There are other brands that do partner with Super Circle, like Ten Tree. They accept mostly clothes. There's another one. I think this one's Thousand Fill. They also partner with Super Circle to do this with shoes. So there are options available. And one of the things that I think happens with these regular closet declutters is people use the thrift store as a stopgap so they can continue over consuming and continue how they shop for clothes. Because if you are getting rid of garbage bags regularly, it is probably going to be overwhelming to take responsibility over all of these items. And that's why people don't do it. And so the thrift store becomes often like the easiest way to go about this process. And so I ask you to imagine for a second, what if you could no longer donate your items to the thrift store? What would you do with them? How would you go about your closet declutter? And would you declutter? Knowing you have this place to put your unwanted items becomes a little bit like enabling behavior. Not always and not every case. It can be an outlet or a mechanism for enabling shopping habits. 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to change not only how I shopped, but how I went about getting rid of garments at the end of their life, and also in the past year reconsidering what I mean by end of life and if things can be diverted from the thrift store. Hence my interest in sewing as well as upcycling clothes, or like DIYing clothes. There's a video coming on all of like the DIY stuff I would like to do in the spring and summertime. But I've also found other outlets for these things, like clothing swaps with friends, or popular one is Plato's Closet. She has also mentioned other great places, and I really just want to encourage you to find the resources in your community. Before you declutter is the time to find these resources, and so you have them on hand when you may feel like you need them. So back to what I was saying, I was using the thrift store myself as a way to enable the way that I was shopping. And once I took responsibility for my clothes and said, I want to bring nothing if possible to the thrift store in terms of clothes. And so this mindset shift has allowed me to change how I shop and how I look at my clothes. And also it's really impacted my view of like what end of life means. So if you are doing a spring wardrobe declutter, I highly encourage you to learn what you can from your closet and learn about your style, what you're liking and not liking, potentially have a little wardrobe playtime to restyle clothes. Maybe you're considering donating. Consider how you might upcycle your clothes, DIY them, or can you repurpose something maybe? And if you would like to declutter clothes, thinking about other options besides the thrift store. I understand that's not available at all times to everybody, but I do think that some of these are worth considering. Just need like a little restyling, a little zhuzhing, and you got like a cute new outfit that you're excited about. So that's it from me today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments how you go about decluttering your closet. What are some questions you ask yourself when you're decluttering that may be helpful? And I would also love to hear from you if you DIY, if you upcycle. What's one of the favorite projects or your favorite projects you've done with your own clothes? Sewing, not sewing, dyeing, whatever you've done. I want to hear about your favorite project. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye. Bye.